thing that can make me lose a deal or can make one lose a deal is when you are not straightforward with the client. If the client happen to find out that you are not telling him or her the truth, he might back out and decide to go.
That's a powerful one. Not being straightforward with a client. I have something like that on my slide, but the word was not straightforward, but it's still the same thing. Not being straightforward with a client can make you lose it. Do you know that person? Before I put it into my slide. So things that you can do, maybe even from your experiences. Of course, me, even in my businesses, I've seen things that I've done, a mistake that I've done that made me lose some deals. So these are things we learn oftentimes to help us. So let's just go ahead. Now, this, of course, when it comes to mistakes, mistakes in life are inevitable. Mistakes is something you cannot avoid. You cannot avoid it. Even as a matter of fact, trying to avoid mistake will make you enter mistake. And anytime you are doing something in life, you don't make mistakes, it means you're not trying. You're not doing anything. You're just there, say, I don't want to touch anybody today. No, I don't want to go anywhere today. So let me just keep my mouth shut, close my door, then you don't make any mistakes. So mistakes means you're actually trying to make an effort. And that is why, as business people, some of us have employees in our offices, some of us have colleagues in our offices, even in marriage, some of us have partners, we have children. One thing we should be able to do when it comes to, judging someone or trying to reward someone or punish someone is to check the motive behind what that person is trying to do. Let me give an instance now. Many of us know about a popular video that went on social media about two young lovers that the lady was trying to surprise the guy with breakfast on the bed. So she went to do tea, hot tea, put bread, egg, and all the rest of that, and carried the tray to the bed, trying to wake the guy up as a surprise breakfast. And suddenly, the tray tumbled, and the hot water poured the guy on the body. the guy jumped out of the bed. So that is it. Now, if you check the intention, it was not that she wanted to hurt the guy with the hot water, but it was a mistake that happened, and the water poured on him. So if that guy would raise his hand and beat her, for instance, or shot at her, that means he doesn't know what he's doing. Because if you check the motive behind what she's doing, the motive was to try to please you, to make you happy. So most times people want to make you happy. Our staff, they want to do something in the office, and at the long run, laptop screen broke. This one happened. So mistakes are inevitable in life, and it's something that will happen. And then one thing that will prove how matured you are is when you do something, you do a mistake, the best thing for you to do is to correct it not to happen again and move on with your life. You will be stagnated, or you will be looked as a bad person when you repeat that same mistakes intentionally. But of course, when you do a mistake, move on with your life and get it right the next time. So let's go ahead. The first thing I have here when it comes to 10 costly mistakes that can make you not to close a deal is inadequate market research. So when you fail to have adequate market research, it can make you lose a deal. So this one has to do with trying to research about what is going on in the industry. What is trending? Where are people moving into right now? Some of us were discussing earlier on about people, most of the Easterners are going to the East to buy land right now. So many of them, you lose out in a deal, or you go and waste your precious time when you're marketing to someone about probably land in Lagos when the person is from the Southeast. Because the person will tell you, no, that's not my focus. My focus is on the Southeast. So imagine you have gone to get that land, and all your lands are, or let's just make a practical example of it. Let's say you have more lands in the Southeast. So you have land in places like Owerri, Anambra, and all that, Asaba. And then you go to a Yoruba man and you're marketing land in Owerri to a Yoruba man. That might make you waste your efforts. Only few can respond to you because you did not do your market research very, very well to check people you have to target, people you have to talk to, and all that. So this inadequate market research can make you lose a deal. It can make you lose a deal, These kind of things are very, very important. So it's good that you research, and then sometimes it can lead to what we call underpricing of properties. So let's say, for instance, you have an estate you want to launch, you have an estate you want to build. Because of lack of adequate research of what's going on in that industry or in that area, you might underprice your market. So let's say in an area where they're selling land for 5 million naira, and you just go there, you want to sell your own for 1.5, you will lose out. You just end up selling the land cheap. People, of course, will buy, but you will not make money because there was an underpricing of the properties and all that. So number 2 I have there is poor communication skills. I talked about this last 2 weeks in our class. We dealt on communication skills when it has to do with marketing. Because if you cannot communicate to someone, you can't sell to that person. The person must be able to comprehend what you are saying, how you are saying it, how you are presenting it before you'll be able to buy from you. So lack of communication skills can make you lose out in a deal where you are not able to convince someone, say the right things at the right time, know what to say to the person to convince that person to buy, from you. So poor communication skills can cause that to happen also. When you lack communication skills, it can make you miss out or lose out in a deal. Number 3 I have there is neglecting property presentation. So this one might happen. You might be in a place, let's say you went to a kind of club that has to do with your friends. You went to old school association. You went to a conference, and they ask you, come and tell us what you do. If you're not able to present your property very, very well, you might make you lose that deal. That is why you must look out for what to do when it comes to both the visuals, the videos. This one has to do with also when clients ask you to send them properties on their WhatsApp or on their phone. What kind of videos do you send to them? What kind of pictures? If you send them blur pictures, you can look, because that will not entice them to proceed with that deal. So what kind of things do you send? Your pictures, what kind of pictures, what kind of videos do you send? That's why companies goes as far as trying to make sure they spend money on these media levels, producing professional videos that looks good for clients. So when you don't present your property very, very well, it can make you lose out in a deal. It's not when client is asking to send pictures, sending them pictures from your phone that's even blur. That's not a good way to present your properties, because the eyes is very, very powerful. What the eyes contact has a way of convincing the mind of what to do. That is why every time you see, all these restaurants, you see them, they will put fufu. They will not put one kind of that thing that doesn't concern the fufu. They'll put fresh tomato around it. You'll be asking yourself, what's the business between fresh tomato and fufu? But just for them to get your eyes, get your attention, capture a good picture. Some of them will come. They will try to draw some things on the food you want to eat. You'll be wondering, what's this business between this one? I will not still eat that thing. These are just trying to present some things very, very well. A practical example of that is bakers. You can see cake bakers. How what they do with their cake. They will draw this one, do this one, use icing, do everything, different designs, make it very, very fine and attractive. And all of a sudden, when they start cutting that cake, they start removing all those parts. They tell you it's not too good to eat too much sugar. It's not too good. Those things are icing sugar. We're eating the main cake. But when you bring out the cake just like that, it doesn't look appealing to the eyes. That is why you must present your properties very, very well. Use good designs, good pictures, good slides to present your properties, because when you neglect it, it can make you lose out a deal. Number 4 I have there is, like he said, when it comes to not being straightforward, is lack of transparency. Lack of transparency. One of the ways to make sales quickly is to build trust with your clients. When a client feels that he can trust you, then they can buy from you easily. So you must build trust with your client. So when you lack transparency, it can make you lose out in a deal. Transparency in the area of, concealing vital information, just like other fees, if the land is waterlogged or anything that has to do with the land. So you must be transparent. I tell realtors that it is better you tell your client everything about that property and they say they are not buying and move on, or you can give them another one to buy, than you hide some things and they buy and start having troubles with you. It will affect your business. It will affect your reputation. Even when they decide to forgive you or to allow you, one thing about clients is that it's not just about the client. There's something about people coming from them. Your business can grow smoothly and faster when they refer you to other people, when they refer to their colleagues, their neighbors, their club members, their church members and all that, their family members. But when you fail to be transparent with them and build that trust, it means they cannot refer other people to you. They tell them that, this one, no. That guy, no, I can't refer him. Oh. He's not transparent. He's not trustworthy. He's not straightforward. He's mago. That means you are losing out not only in that deal, other deals that are supposed to come from that same person. Because you see, this thing called referrals happens in businesses like 60%. Your business grow by referrals. People referring you, telling other people about your product, it makes you grow. That is why you must make sure you build trust. Even when things, just like it happened at Vatican, we have a particular estate we are marketing in Enugu, and it was CFO. We were pushing that estate, CFO. Then it got to a point we discovered that the owner of the land has not even finished the whole documentation about the CFO. We had to remove it and say, no, let's go back to the one we are sure of, deed of assignment. So you don't tell people CFO in view, this one in view, 5 years is not there, 10 years is not there. It makes you lack transparency, and that's not good. Number 5 is ignoring legal requirements. So this has to do with the area of, the area of documentations. This is why when clients are buying to buy from you, let them go through the company, let them sign required documents they are supposed to sign, contract of sales, receipt, deed of assignment, and all the rest of that. It is very, very important they sign those documents and they get those documents, because so they'll be able to go through the company's terms and conditions, the company's policy before they buy. These things are important things that when you ignore them, it can make you lose out a deal, or it can make you have future problems for you to deal with, which is very, very difficult. So never you allow your client or yourself to ignore legal requirements of any particular properties. These things are crucial in making and closing deals. Number 7 is inadequate follow-up. So when you don't follow up on a prospect adequately, you can lose out in a deal. So this is another issue many of us are having. We don't know how to follow up, and you must balance it, because following up on a client is 2 ways. You must make sure you don't disturb them, and you must make sure you remind them about you. Just like me, one of the principles I do is that every month, all my clients must remember me. Every month, once in a month. So at the beginning of every new month, I must send happy new month messages to all my clients, just to make sure they remember me, just to make sure I am fresh on their memories. I am not bugging them every day, disturbing them to come and buy or whatever. But you must make sure that they remember you. These things are important things. So inadequate follow-up can make you lose a deal. Also, you must learn how to follow up, learn how to send once in a while important messages. When you see a good video with a good product, a good estate, send across to your client. Follow up to make sure they understand what is going on. Lesson I have there is number 7 is ignoring client needs. Okay? When a client is telling you, I want a land where I can build a hotel, and you are busy showing them estates that is just for residential purpose, it can make you lose out on that deal. So it's very, very important you understand your client's needs. What is it that you are looking for? What is your plan? Is your plan land banking? When a client is telling you, okay, this asset I'm buying now is just for me to save money, I will sell back later, maybe in the next 3 years or in the next 2 years. If you don't follow up on them based on their needs, you might miss out on that deal. Because you must check out the company you are marketing for. If the company allows if the company allows land banking. For instance, at Vatican here, we give 3 years to make sure every client develop their properties and their land. So these are the things you need to check out when it comes to client needs. Don't ignore it. Know what they want to do with that particular product. Know what is their plan when it comes to that particular property. They just don't want to save money and then sell the land later, or they want to build, or they want to develop. Anything they want to do, you must be able to understand it so that you'll be able to close that deal easily. If not, you might miss out on, that deal. This one happens oftentimes when you are into rentals. Let's say you are into housing, and then a client is telling you, I want 2-bedroom apartment. You are showing the client 3. You are showing the client 4. You are showing the client 1. Or the client is telling you, I want 2-story building. You are showing the client 1-story building. So these things can make you lose out on that deal. They start feeling you don't care about their needs. You are just doing your own and talking your own. So it won't work out very well. Number 8 is another thing that makes people lose out on a deal is rushing the negotiation process. Now, this thing happens oftentimes This thing is attributed to scammers. Okay? When scammers want to scam people, they apply pressure. They apply urgency. They tell you deadline, you miss out to the 2 million that you miss out to. So they want to make sure they cajole you, they push you, they drag you quickly. So whenever clients or prospects start seeing a kind of rush, or a kind of tension, a kind of urgency, a kind of push, then they can fall back and run away. Because they will think you want to scam them. So you're telling them about buy. You want to scam them. So don't allow rushing the negotiation to affect the process of what you are doing. Let it flow. Let it flow. If a client tells you, let's meet next week, don't bother about disturbing them this week. Meet them next week. Just follow up on them gently. Because when you try to rush it, it makes them feel like, there's something you are trying to hide. And this is one thing, this is one principle again. One of the ways to avoid scammers and not to be scammed is no matter what they are telling you, don't rush it. Even when you feel it's a legit business, give it time. If they say after today no more, tell them no problem. That's the thing. Because you're not even sure of what you are doing. When you try to say, let me do fast before I miss out, that fear of missing out will make you enter problem and lose money. So allow it. Don't rush negotiation process. Number 9 is inaccurate valuation, like I talked about earlier on from the first one, inadequate market research. So inaccurate valuation can make you lose out in a deal. Now, this valuation can happen in the area of some clients. Some clients feels that this is why you must study the kind of people you talk to about products, their capacity and their levels. Some people, according to their levels and capacity, they even prefer a land that is CFO and has all the documents and is expensive than the one that is just 1.5 million naira. So they might tell you, this one 1.5. I don't understand this your 1.5 million naira. It's looking too cheap to me. So it's not looking as if it's a scam for them. So most of them want you to give them heavy products, 10 million, 20 million. So this valuation can make you lose out in a deal. Because if all your properties are just 1 million naira, 800. So this thing has to do with both the individuals you are working with, people you are marketing to, and then the product you are selling. So for instance, you have a land you want to sell. You must do accurate valuation of that premises, the area, know the potential of that land and what is going on to avoid underpricing. This can lead to financial losses, and it is not a good business. And then the last but not the least I have there is lack of adaptability. When you fail to adapt, this industry is a dynamic one. Things change from year to year, from domestic marketing to social media. Social media, we are moving to AI. Many things are just going from left and right, up and down, different things, inspection and all that. So if you fail to adapt to what is going on, the current trends of what is going on, it can make you lose a deal. And that is why you must learn to adapt, learn new things. When new things comes out, learn them. When, all those stuff, clients, it must not be you taking them to the sites for inspection. You can do a live video call with them when you go to the site. Do a video call with them. Let them see the environment. So all these things are you being able to adapt. And then sometimes this adaptability can come in the area of the people you are dealing with also. I've shared in this class about different kinds of clients. You have people that are the red energy people, we have yellow energy people, we have the blue energy people, we have the green energy people. If you don't know how to adapt between these 4 groups, the way they behave, the way they respond, their body language, the way they speak, you will not be able to close deals with them because these people are different. They see things differently. Some of them, they love laughing. They love playing a lot. You must play with them. Some of them, they want details. So you must know how to give them these details. These things are things we need to look into to be able to close deals successfully. Last one I have there is my summary. Now, avoiding these costly mistakes requires diligence. Okay? Continuous learning. Of course, like I said, there is no way you cannot avoid mistake in this life. It's the more you do, the more you make mistakes, the more you learn. So, continuous learning and commitment to providing exceptional service to your client. So these are the ways for you to be able to avoid most of these costly mistakes in order to close a deal. So I talked about adaptability, being able to adapt. I talked about inaccurate valuation, rushing the negotiation process. I talked about ignoring client needs. I talked about um, inadequate follow-up when you don't follow up effectively. I talked about ignoring legal requirements, and then lack of transparency, and neglecting property presentation when you don't present your property very, very well. And I talked about poor communication skills, and then I talked about inadequate market research. So these things, all of them together, no one is smaller, has huge impact on your marketing process. They can determine if you're going to make a sale or not. So avoid these things, take note of them, and make sure you do things professionally, because many a times it's not just about doing something. When we don't do it well, we can't get the results we need. This is why it's important to learn how to do it well. And that brings me to the end of my, like I said, it's a very short class today, to the end of my class for today. I don't know if anybody has any question or any thing before we move on and call it a day. So, that's it. Inadequate valuation. Number 8. When you don't research about the property you are selling to know the value. Okay, number 8. This is number 7. Number 7. Number 9 is inaccurate valuation. Number 8 is rushing the negotiation process. That's number 8. When you rush the negotiation process, you're trying to drag the person to come and do it sharp. They pull back. They start feeling you want to scam them, or you have an interior motive, and it can lead to you missing out or losing out in the deal. Okay?
Yes, I want to make a contribution. Based on what you just taught us now, you will find out that the problem that many of us are having is that we want it sharp. And in this industry, I can tell you that it required a lot of resilience and patience. Very, very important. And you also find out that a lot of times when we go for marketing, or you are trying to market a client and the client did not respond, we change our attitude toward the client. Exactly. Even when you see the client, you don't greet him. You don't want to buy. Or maybe when he has promised you and he failed, and you didn't know why he did that. Somehow we always feel discouraged. I think this industry, I can tell you that some of us have failed thousands times. In this industry, I'm one of the people who have been in this industry for so many years, and I can tell you, even when I wake up this morning, I just look at most times how many times I've failed. But what makes you successful is just like what Michael Jordan said in one of his write-up. He said he has shot the basketball many times and failed many times. But it is the one at the end of the day, it is the point he makes that make him more successful. How many times do you fail in this industry? I can tell you that you can market 10 people today and you fail today. None of them buy. Did you now fold up the company and say you are no longer selling again? Our problem sometimes is just that when we see ourselves failing, we then decide to backslide. I know many people are backsliding in these industries, and many people are still in the industries. And at the same time, you will see somebody that came up maybe today into the realtors market. You just make some deals and sales, and within 1 month, I know somebody that within 1 month that joined the real estate sector, he make almost 200 million deal. Sales, and the company gave him a car, and all that and everything, and he went for abroad for the, the incentives. So you that have been there for so many years, you will say, what is this? You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting. Probably you ask the person after that one, which is that in Brighton has happened, probably
Yeah.
maybe 1 year,
2 years. That is what I'm trying to say. There are people that have been in this industry 2 years. They have not. Somebody told me, say 2 years, I have not sold anything, sir. 2 years. And some have been also in this industry, they have not made it. They have been there for 10 years. You understand what I'm saying now? So, but one thing is very important. Like what it is now, you have to be, for me, I would say you have not to give up. Be persistent, keep pushing, all right? You know, one day you will just see the turnout will come. That is it.
Thank you so much, sir. That's what happens. That's just the truth. So it just happens. It's about you being. What did I say is that if you want to do a business, decide how long you want to be in that business and be there, because people can remember you at any time. Your clients might want to buy from you next 5 years. The people that may want to buy from you are people that will get money the next 5 years. So we used to be there when they have that money to buy. That's why it's very, very important. So that's it. Thank you for your time. And we'll move on to our next activities for the day.